Arcturian transmissions to our intergalactic emissaries, Part 1. The Power of Unified Creation. October 22, 2014. Our beloved intergalactic emissaries, we see that many of you are fully awakening to your true multidimensional self and are either seeking to remember or trying to live the mission that you wrote for yourself before you entered your current Earth vessel. We wish to remind you that in order to fulfill your mission, you will need to find a way in your busy life to create the now, to focus on expanding your personal frequency of consciousness. As you create that now every day, you will remember how to live in the now. Since the now resonates to the fifth dimension and beyond, you will also be remembering how to live in the one of the fifth dimension and beyond. This fifth dimensional now is not separate from your third, fourth dimensional life, as the flow of the now releases all separation, and bonds all frequencies of reality within the one. Within this now of the one you will completely remember your mission. Dear Away Team, please remember that your fifth dimensional mission will come to you via light language. Therefore, it will not come to you in the sequential order of your physical world. Since your mission resonates to the fifth dimension and beyond, it is stored in your multidimensional mind. Your multidimensional mind resonates to the fifth dimension and beyond and communicates with you via light language. Therefore, it will not communicate with you via sequential words. Light language comes in packages of information. These packages can only be opened when you are in a higher state of consciousness. If the ringer on your phone is too low or turned off, you will not know that someone is trying to call you. However, they can leave a message. In the same manner, we, your higher expressions of self, leave you our message in a package of light language that you will only know is there if you check your phone. Of course, you can set your phone to buzzer so you can hear that a message has arrived. This analogy is similar to receiving a fifth dimensional package of light language from yourself. You will likely feel it, become very dizzy for a moment, instantly become distracted from your 3D task or suddenly become very sleepy. Your light language message will enter your physical brain through your pineal gland. Your physical brain will then inform you that you will need to calibrate your consciousness to the fifth dimension and beyond, as that was your state of consciousness when you chose your assignment. We understand how difficult it is to remember your higher dimensional decisions while your consciousness is limited by the frequency of your 3D vessel. The physical reality of 3D demands that you focus on your lower dimensional perceptions in order to perform your physical tasks. Therefore, your consciousness can become stuck in the habit of perceiving the physical world as real and the higher dimensional worlds as just your imagination. Of course, they are your imagination because imagination is fifth dimensional thought. It is for this reason that any form of creative endeavor or form of meditation assists you to expand your consciousness into the higher dimensional reality in which you eternally exist. When you take an earth vessel, you only put your toe in the water, so to speak. In other words, only a very small portion of your entire multidimensional self actually occupies your third dimensional form. Your fourth dimensional self fills your aura when you are happy or having fun and enters your dreams to remind you that you are more than the body you are wearing. We understand, dear grounded ones, how addictive your third dimensional reality is. The physical reality is a realm of great separation, which creates an innate fear. This fear confronts you repeatedly throughout your day. Therefore, you wish to be good enough so that they will want to be with you. Also, this fear is like a stack of dirty dishes. Just when you think you are done cleaning up, someone gives you more dirty dishes to clean. We use the above analogy because cleaning up is one of the main tasks that our volunteers have chosen to accept. When your vantage point is centered in the higher dimensions, you can see how much damage has been done to the body of dearest Gaia. Thus, many of you chose to assist with the cleanup of physical and astral waste material. From your higher perspective, you can see the innate beauty of Gaia's waterway, the glory of her clear skies and the many wonders of her beautiful planet. You can also see the pollution, dirt, negative thought forms and fear that constantly diminish Gaia's immune system. Yes, Gaia has an immune system, as do all of her inhabitants. Just as the human immune system is diminished by pollution, poisons in the food, germs and viruses that thrive in filth and inadequate light, nutrition and love, Gaia's immune system is also compromised. When you could perceive Gaia from the higher dimensions, you could easily observe how humanity was harming her. We want you all to know how vital it is to clean up Gaia by service and/or education. We appreciate all your efforts, and Gaia appreciates you, too. Those of you who love nature know that planet Earth is a living, breathing being, far advanced beyond humans. Humans were meant to be the keepers of the land. However, the brainwashing took over and the humans forgot. They forgot their multidimensional self, and they forgot that every particle of life on Earth is Earth. Even though humans have been taught to be separate from their emotions, Earth is not separate from her water. Even though humans are separate from many of their thoughts, Earth is not separate from her atmosphere. Just as the waters and the skies determine the weather of the planet, your human thoughts and emotions determine the weather of your consciousness. In fact, the combination of your thoughts and emotions are the key to your true creative force. Yes, our dear grounded ones, you are a force of creation. By learning a degree of mastery over your thoughts and emotions, you can remember how to create your reality. You create your reality by combining your thoughts and emotions to create a thought form. This thought form then adheres to the 3D matrix of your vicinity to either grow or wither away. Fortunately, if your thought forms are fear-based and no one feeds that fear, your creation will wither away from neglect. On the other hand, if you feed this thought form its daily ration of fear, it will thrive and call many other fearful creations to join it. Have you not noticed how people who are very frightened or live in self-pity just can't catch a break? They cannot catch a break because they only throw out fear and self-pity. Conversely, there are others who focus on loving their self, their friends, their physical area and the world in general. These awakened ones back up this love with positive thoughts of hope, tenacity, and determination to create a happy life. These people are the ones that others call lucky, successful and creative. These people are not lucky. Instead, these people are loving. They remember to love their world, and they remember to love their self. How can one give away what they do not possess? Therefore, these lucky ones use great willpower and force of intention to master their thoughts and emotions. No, they are not always happy or inspired. These people are often tired, overworked, and battling the same fears that others give in to and live. These lucky ones know that their higher consciousness is always online. Therefore, just as you would not expose your child to a violent and frightened movie, they do not expose their consciousness to information that creates fear. Of course, you cannot avoid all fearful information, and you do not want to put your head in the sand. However, once you are aware that you are living your mission and doing everything that you can to fulfill your reason for incarnation, a deep sense of protection begins to fill your thoughts and emotions. This protection reminds you to seek the source of your protection inside of yourself. By this time in your life, you have had plenty of proof that what you think about you bring about. Therefore, you do not allow your thoughts to linger on fear and negativity. Instead, you blaze the violet fire and/or send unconditional love to the source of your fear. Better yet, you use the violet flame of transmutation and the great force of unconditional love to create a pathway of light and love in a world filled with darkness and fear. The beautiful thing is that since this pathway has been blessed with violet fire and unconditional love, it has become a multidimensional pathway. Oh, the glory that we, your friends and family, feel when we see another of our volunteers realize that they have created their own way home. Furthermore, as you continue your journey on your pathway of love and light, you discover that you are living in unity consciousness with all life. One awakened human has 10 times more power of creation than a human who is still trapped in darkness. Then, as these awakened ones join their united power of creation with other awakened ones, their creative powers progress exponentially. Hence, 1 and 1 is 2, 2 and 2 is 4, 4 and 4 is 8, 8 and 8 is 16. You see now how 10 times more power progresses to 20 times more power than the darkness, to 40 times more power, to 80 times more power of transmutation and unconditional love. Our dear, wonderful volunteers, we see the evolution of light over darkness progressing in this very fashion. Be aware that those trapped in fear could choose even more desperate measures to hold back the steady stream of light and love. To their surprise, when and if they are overtaken by this ever-expanding wave of loving transmutation, they are instantly healed. Then, just as they once forgot their true multidimensional self, they begin to forget why they wanted to harm others or their environment. Just as they once forgot that Gaia is a living being with whom they are intimately connected, they begin to forget the fearful and violent indoctrinations that made them forget their true self. The path of light can take much longer to create, as the builders need a degree of mastery over their thoughts and emotions to create it. But, as one by one they remember how to create light and love in their world, they unite with everyone who has also remembered their own innate abilities of creation. Sorrow, fear and anger separates, but love, laughter, and positive thinking naturally bonds into groups based on unity of purpose. We wish you could perceive ascending Gaia from our viewpoint in the higher dimensions. If you did, you would be filled with victory and joy. In fact, go ahead and take our word for it to feel the victory and joy even without the perceptual proof. Feel that proof in your heart and see that proof in your wondrous imagination. Then share. One of the most difficult parts of third-dimensional life is that it is considered good to reach out and talk about your fears and sorrows. That is of course true. However, we ask that you reach out and talk about your love and power of creation. There have been a few humans in every era who talk about the power of positive thinking and loving emotions. However, most people do not dare to talk about how good their life is because the dark ones made you believe that you would be conceited, unkind to the suffering ones, or it would be bad luck. But what if you all decided to not listen to the voices of fear and domination and to only attend to the voices of love and light? Yes, you would still have to do your earthly chores. Yes, you would definitely have bad days in which you fall into forgetfulness. That is until you return to the true ascended master that you are now. Yes, you came from the fifth dimension and beyond in which being an ascended master is normal. Oh, the glorious day when being an ascended master is normal for the inhabitants of our beloved sister Gaia. In fact, Gaia is planning a great party for that day. Please attend, as you are all invited. If someone you know and or love is still trapped in the darkness, bring them along to enjoy the fifth dimension and beyond. They may not be able to stay too long, but once they have gotten a taste of fifth dimensional reality, they will lose their taste for fear and domination over others. We have no fear in the higher worlds. If any fear occurs, we see it as a wound and instantly rush to heal it. Dear intergalactic emissaries, we constantly send you blessings and eternally thank you for your loving service to the One, the Arcturians and all the other members of your galactic celestial family. Channeled by Suzanne Lee. SuzanneLeePhD.blogspot.com